G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Flashlight Crazy. Today I'm doing another comparison video. This time it's between the Fenix TK16 tactical light and the Nitecore P23i tactical light. Let's check them out. Alright, so first things first, they both have a 21700 5000 milliamp 3.6 volt battery. However, the Nitecore is the only one which is a proprietary system. The Fenix is not. Now, another difference with the batteries is the Fenix has onboard charging with a USB-C charger. That means that the Fenix Lite will not have an opening for charging system on it, which is really nice to see. Whereas the Nitecore does have a charging port. Now, it is a very deep charging port, so I wouldn't be concerned about water damage or anything like that because that is very, very deep. And this really thick lip here is very, very protective of holding everything in place, making sure nothing gets into it. So it's honestly one of the best Nitecore USB-C protectors that I've seen. It's just so snug, firm, deep, really, really good. All right, so here we have the contacts of the Fenix. We've got springs down both ends. And the Nitecore has a spring down towards the head, but at the tail cap, it's got your typical, it's pretty new actually, Nitecore contact here. They started this with, I think it was the P20iX and P10iX and things like that. So still very good contact. All right, so before we get into any of the specs and things like that, let's just go over how they look. So standing up against each other, they honestly look almost identical in height. You've got your primary switch here, which is reaching, looks like exactly the same height as the protective ends on the Nitecore there. Now, they are both dual tail switch lights, which is really cool. They do both have glass breaking beads on the end of their bezel. They both have smooth reflectors. However, the Nitecore has an SFT70 and the Fenix has an SST70 LED. So that's the D-dome LED and that's just a flat LED. Now, both got pocket clips here on the bodies and they are both relatively identical in how deep carry they are. And their bodies as well are quite different in style. The Fenix has more of a simple style, very, very comfortable. Nitecore is also comfortable, not saying it's not comfortable, but you know, there's a bit more going on. Looks a bit busy, but nothing crazy. I do like Nitecore bodies, so I'm not knocking it at all. And if we go to the tail caps, they do both kick out from the body, which is really awesome because that will make for a very comfortable light. And as I said before, the Nitecore has these protective areas here, which you can attach lanyards to, and it'll help it tail stand. Whereas the Fenix, you will not be able to tail stand, but it still has lanyard attachments. Now, if we just have a look at the heads again, you will see some heat sinking areas on the Nitecore and you won't see any on the Fenix. And it does look like the Nitecore's head is slightly smaller, but we will check that now. So from head to end of tail clicky, the Fenix comes in at about 14 centimeters. And the Nitecore from head to end of tail as well comes in at also 14 centimeters. Now, the width of the face of the Fenix comes in at 3.4 centimeters. And the width of the face on the Nitecore comes in at 3.1 centimeters. So it is a little bit thinner. Now, the width of the body on the Fenix comes in at about 2.5 centimeters. And the width of the Nitecore comes in at about 2.4 centimeters. So, ooh, nice, just thinner. Pretty good. Now, Fenix tail cap kicks out to a nice 2.7 centimeters. And the Nitecore tail cap kicks out to 2.7 as well. So really nice to see, again, that tactical lights are having a thin body with a bit of a larger tail cap. It really, really helps for grip. Like, I can't explain how beneficial it is for grip. All right, the Nitecore with the battery and pocket clip included comes in at 197.18 grams. And the Fenix comes in at 186.06 grams. So the Nitecore is 11 grams heavier. And I don't know where that 11 grams is coming from. It's got to be the make of the body or something because the Fenix has a larger head than the Nitecore, and they're the same height. So maybe the weight is in the battery, or maybe the weight is in what type of material they use to put this light together. All right, so let's go over the UI and then we'll go over some of the specs. So the UI with the Fenix is quite simple. From off, if you press and hold the mode button, you will get strobe, and that will be momentary. And also from off, you can momentary your primary switch, and that will just give you the last output that you are on. And of course, you can constant on as well. Now, the way you cycle with the Fenix is simply turn the light on and then single press the mode button there. So that is 30 lumens, which you'll get for 43 hours. That is 150 lumens, which you'll get for 19 hours. That is 350 lumens, which you'll get for 8 hours. That is 1,000 lumens, which you'll get for 2 hours and 50 minutes. And that is 3,100 lumens, which you'll get for 2.5 hours with an asterisk. Remember the asterisk. Now, on max output, this will reach 380 meters because it is pushed out by 36,100 candela. Now, turn it off in turbo, turn it back on, straight into turbo. Now, from on as well, if I press and hold the mode button, it'll go into strobe constant on. And then if I click the mode button once, it goes back to your last output. So if I'm on low, searching around, see something scary, strobe it, click it back, comes back to your last output. Turn it off, and that's it. Now, the Nitecore has 2 modes. So we are now on daily mode. So this will give you an ultra low of 50 lumens there. That will last for 45 hours. Then you will get a low mode, which will give you 250 lumens, which will last for 10 hours. Then you'll get medium mode, which is 800 lumens, which will last for 4 hours. High mode, which is 1500 lumens, lasting for 2.5 hours. And then it'll cycle back down to low mode, to ultra low mode, sorry. So in daily mode, you cannot reach your turbo through cycling. All you have to do is from on, press and hold the mode button. And that is your turbo, but it's just momentary. So press and hold for momentary turbo, let go, straight back to your last output. Really, really nice to see. Now, from off, you can also momentary whatever output you were in last, and press and hold the mode button, you get momentary strobe. Absolutely blinding, 3,000 lumens of momentary strobe. But this has a tactical function. So if I press and hold the strobe button and then turn the tail cap, it'll flash twice, as you saw. Now, if I tighten that up, now every time I momentary or constant on the tail clicky, the primary switch, it's gonna come on in your turbo mode. So that turbo mode is 3,000 lumens. You'll get that for 30 minutes with an asterisk. So it will step down before the 30 minutes is up, but after 30 minutes, the battery will be dead. And that will reach 470 meters because it is pushed out by a whopping 55,000 candela. Now, you can cycle down through your modes, but if I turn it off in low, as soon as I turn it back on, it comes straight back on in turbo. So that's the benefit of tactical mode. And also from on, if I press and hold the mode button, it will give you constant on strobe. And then when I press it again, straight back to your last output. So we have an ultra low mode here of 30 lumens and an ultra low mode here of 50 lumens. We have a low mode here of 150 lumens and a low mode here of 250 lumens. We have a medium mode here of 350 and we have a medium mode here of 800. Then we have a high mode of 1,000 here and a high mode of 1,500 here. And then we have a turbo mode of 3,100 lumens here and 3,000 lumens here. Now, run times are different in turbo, guys, because on your runtime here on turbo, 3,100 lumens is 2.5 hours with an asterisk. So that's from the time I click the switch on to the time the battery dies. Whereas the Nitecore is only half an hour from the time I click the switch on to the time the battery dies. However, your candela rating here is 55,000 candela with 470 meters of throw, whereas here it is 36,000 with 380 meters of throw. Now, both these lights are rated to 2 meters water submersibility and 1 meter drop resistance, and they do differ slightly in price. So you've got your Fenix coming in at $169.95 and the Nitecore coming in at $189.95. Now, the major benefit I believe that the Nitecore has over the Fenix at the moment is that it has a tactical mode, meaning I can choose between having a daily mode and having memory mode or a tactical mode where I know it's always going to come on in its max output. All right, so there's the beam shots there just on the mat. They are both in turbo, so 3,100 lumens here and 3,000 lumens here. You've got your SFT70 LED and your SST70 LED here. And if I just put them on the wall next to each other, you can see a bit of a larger hotspot on the left with the Fenix. Obviously, it's going to be tighter with the Nitecore because you've got about 20,000 more candela. And there's some nice, it's a nicer color, I believe, the Fenix, whereas the Nitecore is just blinding white light. But if you want to blind someone, then that's great. And if we just try and separate the spill here, you are going to get some cut off spill because of the bezel and the glass breaking beads. And here as well. In fact, very, very similar spills, almost identical spills. All right, let's take these outside. Oh, actually, I'll just let you know, they're both quite hot. Nitecore's slightly hotter, but they are both quite hot. All right, now let's shoot off outside for some night shots and we'll be back in a moment. All right, guys, the Fenix TK16 and the Nitecore P23i. TK16, P23i. All right, so let's just have a look here. P23i, TK16. P23i, TK16. Up the trees, TK16, P23i. So yeah, the SST70 is here and the SFT70 is here. So much larger hotspot, more of a mixed beam here in the Fenix, and then tighter hotspot in the Nitecore. Now, it does reach further, the Nitecore. That's to be expected. But the Fenix still hits that tree over 100 meters away and offers some more surrounding light as well. 3,100 lumens here, 3,000 lumens here. Very impressive. Seriously impressive. Fenix, Nitecore, Fenix, Nitecore. All right. That's it, guys. Back to the old lab. See ya. All right, so they both perform really, really well. Obviously, being an SST70, you're going to get a larger hotspot, and it's going to appear to be more of a mixed beam. It's got less candela as well, so the hotspot's going to blend into the spill a lot earlier than the Nitecore. Nitecore obviously has 20,000 more candela. It reaches further. It's got a tighter hotspot, whiter light, but you're not going to get a long time with that on turbo. Whereas with the Fenix, yes, it's going to step down, but the light's not going to shut off for 2+ hours. Whereas the Nitecore, the light's going to shut off in half an hour. And you can't just put any battery in the Nitecore. You have to have a proprietary battery. So you got to buy another battery from Nitecore. Make sure that's with you if you want extended times with your turbo output. Now, I really like these two lights, guys. I think they're both really, really special in their own ways. I love the glass breaking bead additive. I think it's really, really important for a light to add that. I like the fact that even though they're 21-700s, they're fairly compact. They're not as big as some other 21-700s. I love the dual tail switches, but the Nitecore, I love the fact that it's got 2 user modes. I just can't get past it. The Fenix is, in my opinion, a more comfortable light to hold. The primary switch is a better switch, in my opinion. It's larger, it's easier to push, and it just feels better than the Nitecores. But the 2 user modes with the Nitecore, you can't beat. If the Fenix had 2 user modes, I'd be all over the Fenix. But because it doesn't have 2 user modes, you need to, I can think that I've left this in low mode and then I go to shine it at nighttime and blind me and everyone around me because I forgot that it was in turbo mode. And especially in something that is going to be marketed as a tactical light. Not that I think the Fenix is marketed as a tactical light. I'm not sure if it is. However, I do think that Fenix should start incorporating a second user mode as a tactical mode. I think they would really, really benefit, and I think those torches would fly off the walls if they did that. So my choice is going to be the Nitecore, plain and simple, because of its 2 user modes. Now you can pick both these lights up from lightshop.com.au. I did say it before, $170 for the Fenix, $190 for the Nitecore. and I will leave links leading you to them, and I will leave discount codes as well, guys. All right, thanks for watching another comparison video on Flashlight Crazy. Don't forget, stay cool and stay safe. See ya.